Hey Claudio, Connor Case, comicbook.com. A lot has been said about this rivalry you had with Eddie Kingston and the years that you two shared together. Um, he certainly made it sound after the match like he wants another shot eventually. But do you think this closed the chapter on your rivalry with him?
Well, I won, didn't I? Case closed.
Claudio, Nick Hausman, House of Wrestling, congratulations on your team. Eddie talks a lot of trash about you, MJF, a lot of people. What do you think of his comments? Do you think it's good for the brand? Do you think it's good for the action? What do you think of the way he speaks about the other people on the roster?
I don't think it's good for the brand. I don't think it's good for wrestling in general. And I don't think it's behaving for anybody who wants to be a world champion.
Thank you.
There you go, right here.
Steve Fall from Tencon Wrestling News Co. Claudio, congratulations as well. Who do you have your eye on as next challenger? Because obviously as champion, there's a bullseye on your back, so who do you think is coming after you next?
Oh man, whoever has the guts to do so, I would like to say. If you watch the show tonight, I mean, there's some awesome matches. There's some great matches on the 0 hour. There's been some great matches on ROH TV, on the club. I think Ring of Honor is red hot. If you watch Honor Club, you just see every single person is trying to prove themselves, trying to show why they should be the next round for this title. So there's a whole bunch of challenges, and I'm looking forward to facing each and every one.
Very good, thank you.
Hi, Claudia. Amy Linetti with WrestlePlay. At the end of your match tonight, first of all, congratulations, of course. You're wonderful defense. You and Wheeler Yuta and Eddie Kingston and Shibata had a sort of standoff that might potentially lead to something in the future. I was curious about what your thoughts were on that, as well as what your thoughts are with Shibata working within Ring of Honor. It seems like a very prestigious and very honorable situation to have somebody, you're carrying the Ring of Honor World Championship. You have Shibata coming in with the Pure Championship. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that, as well as your thoughts on potentially working with or against them in the future. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I respect Shibata a lot. He's a tremendous athlete. He has tremendous fighting spirit to come back from the injuries he came back from. And he's obviously ridiculously good because he delivered the day, and he's just kind of doing a renaissance, if you will, and showing how good he is to the American audience who may or may not be that familiar with him. That being said, him sticking his nose kind of where it doesn't belong, not my cup of tea. Also, he just won the Pure Championship, which is very wrestling based. I don't know if it would be best for his health to step in the ring with somebody of my caliber. So, just maybe it would be better for him to wait a little bit before he steps in the ring with me. So, just general warning to Shibata and everyone. Think that through. So we just got to see him come back. We don't want him to go back for on the shelf for a while. It's just
Questions up here?
Xenia from The Internet. Congratulations on your win tonight.
Thank you.
Throughout your rivalry with Eddie Kingston, you said that a man without honor can't be Ring of Honor champion.
Yes.
So I was wondering if you could elaborate on that. What does that concept of honor mean to you, and what does that constitute to you?
Well, I use an example fresh from today. There's plenty. Right after the match, Eddie Kingston had the microphone. What was the first thing he said? Stuff that you cannot air on regular television, stuff that you cannot write in a regular publication, stuff that is not behaving of a Ring of Honor champion. So that just proved my point tonight. Didn't even have to wait 2 minutes, and he proves it again. So that was the answer to your question. He answered it himself.
Questions?
Mike Rowe, LAist. I was wondering, Claudio, how you feel that your run as Ring of Honor champion is really helping to establish the brand and to sort of set it apart from AEW and give it its own identity.
So I was trying to defend this Ring of Honor championship the way I remember it. Any chance I get against anybody who wants to step up, I defended this Ring of Honor World Championship. By the way, not this one, but if you can see, this is a brand new, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'm very proud of to be the first guy to hold it. But I defended the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship on the Dark. I defended it on Rampage. I defended it on Honor Club. So to me, this is a fighting men's championship. I defended against anybody who wants to step up. I defended it in proving ground matches. Because to me, that is what the Ring of Honor champion always has been. It's about honor, it's about representing the company, and that is, Ring of Honor always was best pure wrestling company, I feel like. And that doesn't mean AEW doesn't have good wrestling. It certainly has the best wrestling on television. But I always felt that Ring of Honor was the place where you see the next great talents, where they have a chance to showcase themselves longer than they might have on television because of time constraints, where people have a chance to step up and really showcase what they got, where you find, Ring of Honor is where people like myself, like Brian Dennis and like Guinness, and so many more, cut their teeth, found their style, found their flows, and that's what Ring of Honor is. So if people watch Honor Club, they can almost like discover who is going to be the next guy that you have to watch on Independence. And I feel like Tony's done a really good job bringing people in who's starting to create a little bit of a buzz on the independent scene to showcase themselves on a way bigger platform. I feel like Honor Club has been doing incredible well, and the response has been great from people from all over the world because now it's accessible for everybody, and people get the chance to showcase themselves and to prove why they're going to be the next big thing. And that's what Ring of Honor has always been. It's where people have a chip on their shoulder, and I thought about that today actually. It's a very long answer. I thought about that today because I worked out this morning, and as I was working out, I was kind of thinking, like, why am I working out? It's kind of like when you're in the middle of a hard workout, you always question yourself, like, why am I doing this? And the answer is simple. It's because you want to stay hungry, you want to stay humble, and you will never want to think that you're too good to do the hard work. And that's what Ring of Honor means to me, and that's what I feel like the Ring of Honor champion should be. You want to defend it every single time, all your heart. And that's why I feel people should watch Ring of Honor, and that's the kind of champion I would like to be.
A few more?
First off, Claudio, congratulations on your win tonight. Real distracted by wrestling. And the question is for you tonight, where do you feel like you go from here? Who do you feel that could be the one to step up to you, whether it be with Forbidden Door coming up or possibly, a former, tag team partner? Like, how would you feel if, say, someone like Chris Hero was to appear and challenge you for your championship?
Well, I feel like Forbidden Door opens, pun intended, so many doors of people who can step up there. I mean, we've seen just, like, you brought up earlier, Shibata again, I'm worried about his health, so let's think about that as well. You know, Tanahashi was here today. There's so many great other talents. I wrestled, I think I wrestled in a match with Okada 15, 20 years ago, or 15 years ago. So there's a lot of history there. There's plenty of people in New Japan that I would like to defend this Ring of Honor World Championship against former, you know, like you bring up, you know, because you're a former people, sure, if whoever wants to step up and put in the work to get to a place where I feel like they deserve a title match, or Tony feels like they earned a title match. Hey, I'll take on anybody, but again, I feel like people, you can't just walk in and demand a title match, you know what I mean? I feel like I've earned that respect, I've earned that courtesy. You need to be ready, you need to show that you're ready. And there's a lot of people out there that are proving themselves to be ready. There's a lot of former Ring of Honor champions that I would love to step in the ring with. You know, I mean, just throw a bunch of them out there. I mean, like Guido would be one of them, Rush would be one of them. Cole was just recently cleared again. There's so many more. There's a bunch of young kids that, you know, come up, and I feel like they have that fire, they have that energy, they have that chip on their shoulder that I want to step in the ring and prove myself against, because again, you always need to measure yourself against the best, otherwise you're not worth the champion.
Will Washington, Fightful. I wanted to ask a bit of a presentational question. So when you first came into AEW at Forbidden Door last year, you entered to a very upbeat version of the 1812 Overture, but since you've had this shift in your persona, you've had a bit of a presentational change. You've been entering, and you enter tonight to a very classical version of the Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture with cannons and all that. So I guess it's a two-part question. One, what was the inspiration behind that? My gut tells me that was probably a Tony Khan call. And two, how do you feel that's enhanced your presentation and entering the ring?
Oh, it's yours. I love both of those entrance music a lot. I felt that the one that I came into at Forbidden Door, the more upbeat one, like you said, matched that excitement and matched that energy a lot. But I feel the more I integrated myself in the AEW Ring of Honor, I felt like there needed to be a little bit of a change. And I feel like the music that I came out to tonight, or the new music, kind of like hits the nail on its head. And I feel like it's very much me, and it's very much current, and I feel like if you had a minute and 15 seconds, I know exactly how long the track is, and we always do about 3 times. If you had a minute and 15 seconds to sum up who I am, listen to that music, it's fantastic. And I know it's probably
I love it. It's
yeah.
look at it, it's perfect. Last question.
Last question.
Hi, Phil Lindsay of from Bleacher Report. We saw Bryan Danielson return this week on Dynamite. We haven't seen 4 of you guys together with Blackpool Combat Club in quite a while. What does it feel like to have the band back together, so to speak, and be moving at the same chord again?
Oh man, it felt great. It's like family reunion, you know what I mean? It's a,
And you don't want to say they're going to appear together live Wednesday. You don't have to say too much. You save some for Wednesday.
I'm gonna keep my answer short. Yeah, it was great. It was like having your brother back, you know, and just having a good time. And like I said, like Tony said, there's going to be more on Wednesday, or we're going to answer some more questions. And yeah, you just have to keep watching them. We have 1 or 2 things up our sleeves, you know.